Welcome back to the Accounting Working Group podcast. I'm your host, Stein Smith. And so, really, in this month, I just wanted to carve out a few minutes to update all of you on obviously some of the biggest headline stories, trends, topics, all the rest, and to also add some extra context as to what we at the Accounting Working Group are up to. So, obviously, after a rough year in 2022, the first month or so of 23 has been quite positive for obviously prices of Bitcoin and other crypto assets at large. And so, on the one hand, obviously, anybody who is holding onto coins, tokens, NFTs, all the rest are probably happy to be part of this uptick in prices. But I do think that there is some extra nuance in here, right? That on the one hand, as the prices and as there are some charts out there, there are some technical analysts, there was some sentiment that the mood has turned from really a awful end of 22 into a more positive outlook going forward. I am optimistic overall, but I would just add that one, it's obviously early in 23, and that two, that as the year goes on, there is definitely going to be more obstacles, more headwinds in the form of lawsuits, uh, policymakers becoming more hands-on on a oversight basis, and probably just a few quick examples. There are, as of our recording date right here, the SEC has actually just launched another probe investigation into Kraken, basically, again, trying to figure out, trying to prove, trying to make the case that a crypto trading platform issued unregistered securities. And so all of that really does sort of highlight that there is still quite a bit of ambiguity out there on a policy point of view. And just again, during the last few weeks or early 2023, Charlie Munger penned a op-ed basically calling for all of crypto, including Bitcoin, to be outright banned. Now, I won't go too much into that, but I would argue that honestly, trying to ban crypto, trying to ban Bitcoin is one, unwise, two, possible, and three, overlooks the actuality that on the enterprise point of view, there are more and more institutions using blockchain-based applications, using token-based payment systems, and overall are increasing the adoption of blockchain and crypto at large. Now, obviously, if you are in the Bitcoin, maxi camp, that probably comes with a grain of salt. But overall, right, the overall attitude towards blockchain, even Jamie Dimon, who famously hates Bitcoin, his bank has a entire operating division using blockchain for payments as we speak, and they've been doing so now for years. So, it is going to be interesting to see how this price action, one, develops during the year, and two, how that influences the whole host of other conversations, right? From taxing, from kind of tax crypto, how audits are done, and how this idea of proof of reserves or solvency or some other iteration of that idea develop going forward. And obviously, the overarching headline is unfortunately still FTX. And there are other headlines out there. The Binance is in some hot water again, and there are other issuers and other companies that are trying to work through some problems on their own. But on the FTX side, I do think that on a periodic basis during this upcoming year, with the actual trial date penciled in for October, that as the year unfolds, that as more information comes out, that as more data, records, or sworn testimony, or some tweets actually come out, that all of that will have a artificially large impact on, I think, market sentiment, right? And that a few of the current headlines that have emerged out of this case include One, the current current CEO of FTX is trying to claw back most, if not all, of the uh, political contributions made by SBF himself and by FTX. So that's going to be interesting as we are in the run up to a presidential election in 2024. All of that is, I'm sure, always going to be pretty interesting. And then two, it has come out that there are some questions around these fees being paid to external lawyers and the recoverability of the assets still on the balance sheet, and all of that is not even touching on the balance sheets and the quote unquote financial statements that have been put out by SBF via posts on Medium and all the rest. So as the year unfolds, all of that is going to really sort of keep the crypto accounting, crypto auditing conversation on the front burner. And so really, building on that, our proof of reserve white paper is in the home stretch. I know I've been promising this now for the last half year or so, but obviously in the back half, or the last quarter really of 2022, the whole concept and the whole idea and the whole conversation around proof of reserves really moved off the back burner onto the front burner, and everybody was talking about it, pros and cons, and the issues, right, that are currently out there still with regards to how these agreed upon procedures are actually done. And so as a direct result of that, our white paper has one, gotten bigger, and two, is honestly really trying to parse through what these engagements are, who is going to be most impacted by them, and then three, to try to add some objective context on the pros and the cons and how these engagements should actually work going forward. Obviously, our paper is not anything authoritative, but our goal, as always, is to try to add some transparency and to try to do so in a objective and understandable way. So our white paper, it is in the home stretch, and I'm confident right here, as of right now, that we should have at the very least a draft out to the working group members during the first quarter. We're aiming to have it published out in the marketplace during the first half of 2023, pretty much right after busy season, hopefully. And so adding on to that, right, there are quite a few events planned for 2023. Again, probably starting to really kick off after busy season. Because there are plenty of topics to talk about. Just the other day, the Ethereum staked on Lido is now open to be withdrawn or accessed, or all of that is on its to actually becoming a option. And so that's going to lead crypto staking and all of those conversations back into the mainstream conversation, hopefully after busy season wraps up. But all of that is absolutely on our radar for the rest of the year. And echoing back to some earlier comments, anything around crypto auditing, accounting, and really trying to get more transparency, consistency, and comparability into this space are all topics and are all ideas that basically we are going to try to integrate into any in-person events, online webinars, panels, or items of that kind. And there are a few other projects that I have in the pipeline right now that I haven't really sort of crystallized yet as to how they're going to shape up, be it a white paper or a event. But I'll be sure to keep you all posted on that. But I can say right now with absolute certainty that 2023 is not going to be boring, either for us or for the area at large. And have an awesome day.